When a beautiful woman is feeling attracted to you but isn't quite sure about you yet, she will usually ask you challenging questions. She will stop being so straightforward and nice and easygoing and will put you on the spot. She wants to test how confident you really are. When you show her that you're not fazed by her challenging questions and you can remain confident while also being a good guy, then she respects you and feels attracted to you. As a result, she drops her guard around you. She then shows you a side of herself that she doesn't normally show to other guys. She becomes easygoing, down to earth, friendly, and shows interest in you. So if you want to bring out the easygoing, down to earth, friendly side of a beautiful woman and get her to show interest in you, you need to have the confidence to answer a woman's challenging questions in a playful way. You need to have the confidence to mess with her, rather than thinking that you need to answer all of her questions immediately and in a straightforward, logical manner. So let's have a look at the first challenging question that a beautiful woman might ask you when she's feeling attracted to you but is not quite sure about you yet. So, how many women have you slept with? If a guy is worried about losing his chance with a beautiful woman, he will worry when she asks him a question like that. He may think something like, well, if I tell her that I've slept with 20 women, maybe that's too much. Maybe she's going to think I'm a player. If I tell her that I've only slept with 2 or 3 women, then she might think that women don't like me and I don't have much sexual experience, so she might lose interest as a result of that. What am I going to tell her? As a result of thinking in that way, his body language will change. He will start to appear tense. She will be looking at him and she will see that he is panicking on the inside. He is worried about answering the question. And he might and ah a little bit before answering the question. And if he answers the question in a way that shows that he is nervous or worried about her losing interest, then she will lose interest. She will see that he doesn't feel like he's good enough for her and he's trying hard to impress her and say all the right things and answer her questions correctly, so he then passes the test and gets to have sex with her or a relationship with her. Yet, a guy that's actually going to make a beautiful woman feel respect and attraction is the type of guy who doesn't always take her questions seriously. He doesn't feel like he needs to quickly answer her question or answer it in a straightforward manner. So, if she asks him something like, so, how many women have you slept with? He might answer her in one of the following ways. How many women have I slept with? Sorry, I don't kiss and tell. How many women have I slept with? 0. I'm a virgin. Can't you tell? The furthest I've ever gotten with a woman is holding hands. We held hands for like 10 minutes. It was pretty full on. How many women have I slept with? No, I don't kiss and tell. Well, maybe I will tell you. But promise that you won't judge me, okay? If I tell you, no judging. Alright, well look. I've slept with 146 women. Now at that point, her jaw is most likely going to drop and she's going to be laughing and saying, what? You've slept with 146 women? And then you can tell her that you're only joking and that you've never slept with a woman and you're still a virgin. In other words, you're not taking her question seriously. You're not panicking and thinking, I need to somehow tell her the right answer that lets me get into her panties. I need to say 20 women or 5 women or 10 women and tell her the number that is going to get her approval. No, you already approve of yourself. You don't need to seek her approval. You know that you're good enough for her. So you can answer however the heck you want. Here's another example. How many women have I slept with? Well, I actually work as a male gigolo. So maybe in the thousands, I don't know. I really can't remember. Or you might want to refer to yourself as a male prostitute or something like that. Essentially, you're not taking her question seriously, right? You're not panicking, you're not worrying about trying to get the answer right. Instead, you have the confidence to joke around with her, to mess with her, and not think that you need to be on your best behavior around the beautiful woman. You've got to say everything right and then she's going to like you. No. What makes a beautiful woman really like a guy is when he doesn't feel like he needs to say and do everything right around her. He has the confidence to say whatever the heck he wants while still being a good guy. The majority of women don't actually want a bad man, right? They just want a good man who has the confidence to joke around with them, right? Who isn't afraid of them. So here's another example response to the question of, so how many women have you slept with? How many women have I slept with? You mean actually slept with as in gone to sleep with? Because usually I just have sex and leave. At that point, most women are going to laugh, right? They're going to know that you're joking, but if they're not sure, they might ask you. A woman might say something like, really? Are you for real? You can then continue on with the joke or tell her that you're just kidding. So if you were to continue on with the joke, you might say something like, yeah, well, what am I going to stay for? It's just, we've had sex, it's time to go. Alternatively, you might say something like, no, I'm just kidding. I like to stay and be romantic and hug and kiss and sleep in bed all day and all that sort of stuff. And let her see that you're not taking the question seriously. You have the confidence to joke around with her and not think that you need to be on your best behavior around her because she's beautiful. And you need to make sure that you say all the right things to hopefully get a chance with her. The next challenging question is, wow, you're smooth. Do you pick up girls all the time? Alternatively, a woman might ask, do you say that to all the girls? One of the quickest ways to shut her question down is to pretend that you're disappointed in her for asking you a question like that. So rather than thinking that you need to answer her question with a yes or no answer when she asks you, do you pick up girls all the time? You have the confidence to challenge her, right? You're still being a good guy, but you're challenging her. You're not just answering her question with a no or yeah, I do, and hoping that you get the right answer. Instead, you have the confidence to challenge her. So if you're talking to a beautiful woman and she asks you the question, do you pick up girls all the time? You can respond with something like this. Well, that's rude. You're talking to a confident guy, you're having a good conversation, and then you go ahead and assume that he's a player or something like that. I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were cooler than that. Likewise, if she asks you the question, do you say that to all the girls? You can say something like this. No, not to all the girls. Only to the special ones. You're special. That's why I said it to you. And then have a laugh with her about that. Essentially, you're showing her that you're not being thrown off by her question, right? Where a guy will go wrong when interacting with a beautiful woman is that she'll ask him a question like that and inside he'll start to panic. He'll think, damn it, I'm losing her. She thinks that I'm some sort of player or I'm using some sort of technique that I learned off the internet. I'm screwed. She's going to lose interest in me. What am I going to do? Then as a result of thinking like that on the inside, it comes out on the outside. She can see the changes in his body language. She can sense the changes in his vibe. She can pick up on the changes in his conversation style. She knows that he's now worried that she's losing interest in him. If you want a beautiful woman to respect you and feel attracted to you, you have to not be worried about her potentially losing interest in you. It's not about being a bad guy and showing her that you don't care about her, you don't give a stuff about her, or being rude or anything like that. Instead, it's just about being a confident good guy who isn't worried about her potential reaction to something. A fundamental principle to remember is that if you fear her reaction, she won't feel attraction. When you fear a woman's reaction to what you're going to say, she can see that. She can see that you're afraid of her, and as a result, she can't feel respect and attraction for you. Women don't want to feel like they are more dominant than you. Women may go around acting as though they are the more dominant ones, but that is just an act. What a woman really wants is a man who doesn't fear her, but is also a good guy. The next challenging question is, were you just checking that girl out? So for example, a guy might be talking to a woman at a party, or at a bar, or at university, or at a work function, or whatever. She then asks him the question, were you just checking that girl out? To see if he's going to lie to her. To see if he's going to say something like, no, I was just looking around, or well, what are you talking about? And pretend that he is not a man who looks at women or looks at the world in general, right? Just looks around and looks at things. No, he's not allowed to do that. He's got to be on his best behavior around the beautiful woman. He's got to be totally focused on her and only her. And he can't look at her cleavage or anything like that. He has to look at her eyes only. And he can't say anything untoward. He has to be on his best behavior at all times. So the way to answer a beautiful woman's challenging question of, were you just checking that girl out? Is to not take her so seriously. So for example, she asks you, so were you just checking that girl out? And then you say to her, yes. Were you just checking me out? Why have you got your eyes on me all the time, huh? Are you one of those clingy girls that always has to monitor a guy? Relax, girl. People can look around at the world around them. She then feels a bit embarrassed for asking you a question like that and appearing to be one of those clingy girls. Alternatively, she laughs, she gets the joke, and she has a good laugh with you about it. The next challenging question is, would you stay with a girl if she put on weight in a relationship? Once again, a woman wants to see whether or not you're going to lie to her, right? Whether you have the confidence to be honest or the confidence to joke around with her and not take her question so seriously. So if she asks you the question of, Would you stay with a girl if she put on weight in a relationship? One way to answer it is to say, no, of course not. And then have a laugh with her about that. You can then say something like, well, look, everyone puts on weight when they get into a relationship, with all the dates where you have popcorn and ice cream and pizza and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty normal to put on a bit of extra weight in a relationship. But how about you? Would you stay with a guy if he put on weight in a relationship? If she says that she would stay with the guy if he put on weight in a relationship, you can say something like, no, you wouldn't. I don't believe you. Come on. You look so shallow. You seem like the most shallowest girl I've ever met in my life. No, just kidding. I believe you. Well, that's good. But here's the thing though. Would you actually have the capacity to make a guy put on weight in a relationship? Are you a good cook? Can you cook? That is the big question here. As a result, you're steering the conversation to a more playful type of conversation, and you're also putting her on the spot about whether or not she's a good cook. You're making her feel as though she is being subtly judged at the moment, right? Is she a good cook? Is she actually a wholesome, all-round woman who can cook, who's great in bed, who looks good, and so on? Another example response to the question of, so would you stay with a girl if she put on weight in a relationship, is to say something like this. Why do you ask? We're not even dating yet and you're already worried about me dumping you. Come on, relax. She will almost certainly then say that she wasn't trying to say that and she was just asking you if you would dump a girl if she put on weight, and you can then say something like, yeah, okay, I believe you. And be playful with her about it like that. Let her see that you are confident, you're a good guy, and you're not taking her questioning seriously. You're not worried about the potential implications of you answering her question incorrectly. If you say yes, you would leave a girl, she might lose interest. If you say no, you wouldn't leave a girl, she might think that you're too nice. Don't worry what she thinks. Just focus on what's going to make her feel respect and sexual attraction for you as you interact with her. If you also happen to be a good guy, then she's going to be excited about that, because it's difficult for a beautiful woman to find a good guy who can be confident around her. A good guy who isn't afraid to challenge her in a playful way. Finally, another way to answer the question of would you stay with a woman if she put on weight in a relationship is to say something like this. Well, it depends on where she puts on weight. Is she going to be putting on weight in certain areas that are going to be useful, and have a laugh with her about that. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you'd like to learn more, I recommend that you read my ebook, The Flow, or listen to the audiobook version, The Flow on Audio. When you read or listen to The Flow, you will learn exactly what to say and do to go from hello to sex with a woman that you find attractive. It's everything that you need to know to start conversations, keep conversations going, keep conversations interesting, get women to feel connected with you, get to a phone number, kiss, date, sex, and into a relationship. When you use The Flow, you're going to begin to enjoy your choice of women. One final point that I want to make for you in this video is to point out the fact that every woman you meet is going to be different. Sometimes you meet a woman who is instantly friendly and you get along with her and you hook up with her very easily. Yet, sometimes you'll meet a woman who's a bit challenging. And in most cases, that type of woman is going to be the very attractive, beautiful woman that pretty much every guy wants to be with. She has her guard up. Right? She's not being friendly and easygoing around every guy because she doesn't want to give every guy the wrong impression. Right? She only wants to drop her guard for a guy who honestly, sincerely feels as though he is good enough for her. If you want to show her that you honestly, sincerely feel as though you are good enough for her, then you need to have the confidence to not take her questions so seriously all the time. There's nothing wrong with taking her questions seriously whenever you want to, but you also need to have the confidence to mess with her as well. You need to let her see that you're not on your best behavior hoping to get a chance with the almighty woman who you've put on a pedestal, right? She is a beautiful woman, yes, and you're feeling attracted to her, yes, but you are the man. You are more than good enough for her. Let her see that based on your behavior and she will feel respect and attraction for you.